Nosey Nancies is a true crime podcast that deals with real life situations. If you are sensitive to any of the trigger words, this is not the podcast for you. Listener discretion is advised.
Position I'm in, somewhere between the sand and again and again. Well, I'm just pretending that it's all just a dream, a little condescending to believing in it. I'm getting the notion that I'm going all in.
Hey all you nosies, I'm Alequah.
And I'm Jasmine, and welcome to Nosey Nancies episode 11.
No, it's 10.
What? All right. Let's start over.
Yes. You're right. Yeah. I feel like this is episode 1 all over again. Remember, like, the anxiety of it all?
Yeah.
It's happening right now. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why we ever decided to do a podcast. Okay.
All right.
All right. Hey, all you nosies. I'm Alequah.
And I'm Jasmine, and welcome to Nosey Nancies episode 9?
10. It's 10.
Fuck! Did I say 10?
No, you said 11.
Oh.
Everybody in the world is like, well, not everybody in the world. The 12 people that listen to our podcast religiously is like, what happened to episode 10? We don't talk about episode 10.
We don't talk about that. We took off for 10.
Yeah,
and now we're skipping ahead.
It's like Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly. We don't talk about it.
I mean, last episode we did talk about how we can't count. So this
yeah,
should
that's
not be
true.
A surprise. We forewarned everybody. We probably shouldn't have taken a break. I mean, I know I was sick, but like, because my whole world, honestly, I missed being like having crippling anxiety every time.
Yeah.
We every week we did the podcast, you know what I mean? I missed that. So
I know, like, I just have felt really, like, kind of footloose and fancy free, and because of that, I have no clue what's going on. Like, this morning, yeah. I went to my book club, and, because I'm in a book club, and
You're so domestic.
I'm so domesticated.
I love it.
And when I went, like, one of the girls asked me, like, are you going to join us? And I was like, yeah, I'm on my way. Well, I had left my phone in the kitchen. So I got to it, like, right as I was about to leave. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be probably a few minutes late, but I'm on my way right now. Well, we were supposed to meet at 10, and I was on my way out the door at, like, 11. So I got there, like, a full hour later.
Oh, classic Jasmine.
And,
you know?
And I'm just like, I have no idea, like, if I'm coming or going. Like, evidently this podcast is holding my life together, so.
It really is. I, last week, was like, what am I going to do on a Saturday? You know? I've already planned a world domination, and that never worked. So, like, I've already tried robbing banks, and I'm just too slow for that. So, like...
Get caught every time.
I get caught every time. The only thing left for me to do in this world is this podcast on Saturdays, you know? It was a bleak time for me.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize it was so sinister.
I actually enjoyed it. I was like, oh, good, I don't have to do anything.
I know. It was really, like, having a full weekend. I was like, damn.
I know. It never happened. It never happens anymore, you know?
I know.
I see this every week, but for real this time, there's a lot of stuff happening, like the Long Island serial killer that they finally admitted that they had, and they have a guy in custody. God, that was a weird way of saying it. I think I just said custody. I said custody.
They've got him in custody, honey.
Yeah. Oregon is also admitting that they too might have a serial killer.
See, what the fuck?
Yeah. And San Antonio has gotten Raul Meza Jr. to confess about some murders that happened out there that we weren't aware of
Aware of.
previously. So it's just a big time right now for those killers. You know,
Yeah.
this is
Just
I guess
ramping up.
Yeah, they're having their own hot girl summer, I guess.
Exactly. What would that be? Like Bloody Blade?
Yeah,
summer?
They're having a Bloody Blade summer.
No, it's got to start with a B because it's got to be a BBB.
I don't know about triple Bs, but I do know about these double Ds. I'm surprised we've lasted 10 episodes without anybody being like, we didn't start this podcast to be scrutinized, okay?
Yeah, we just want to spit the facts and have you not spit at us at all.
Yeah, exactly. Just love us for us.
Yeah, don't ask us questions. That confuses us.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I don't remember anything. Once we've, like, talked about it, it's out the window for me.
See, I used to have a good memory, and that's what, like, when Todd and I first got together, he was like, wow, you have a good memory, which is great, because I don't. And I'm like, yeah, I have a great memory. And now I'm like, I show up to my book club an hour late. That's the type of memory that I have.
I wish there was like exciting things I could tell you about that's been happening with me publicly, but I can't.
I don't have anything. I've been like, okay, so I'm trying to cut down on smoking.
Oh, good for you.
And I think that has really, like, especially in the last few weeks, helped me realize how much I just hate people.
Yeah.
In general. Like, I have no patience for anything anymore.
Oh, no, yeah, that goes out the window. You know what helped me stop smoking?
What?
Drinking the blood of mine enemies. Like Madonna does to stay young.
I think the surgery is helping stay young.
Yeah.
But I don't know. She's looking kind of weird these days. Like, I mean, she looks crazy. Did you see, what is this picture from?
I've seen it.
The one where she looks like the like jigsaw doll from Saw.
You're saying Madonna looks like Jigsaw?
Yeah.
I've never heard a more accurate description of somebody.
I mean, she looks exactly like, yeah.
You know who I look like, though? I'm being completely serious. Like, I've been told I look like this. This is my celebrity doppelganger. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Tiffany from fucking Chucky. His doll wife.
Oh, I could see that.
The puppet.
I could see that. Not Jennifer Tilly.
Not Jennifer Tilly, but the fucking puppet. Yeah.
I could definitely see that. I could. Well, she's cute.
She is cute and psychotic, so. I mean,
fitting. Very fitting.
Actually, you know who you do look like is the chick from Queen's Gambit.
Who is she? This Anna Taylor-Joy? But, like, Mom told me that I looked like Bjork. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I could
see that. This girl kind of looks like that. Yeah, Anna Taylor-Joy. But if she had black hair, she's gorgeous.
I mean, she's pretty.
Her eyes. It's. Like,
I guess
it's mainly the eyes, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's mainly. It's mainly the eyes. Yeah.
And also that girl from that goth investigator girl from like NCIS all the time. But I think again it's because of the bangs, because of the black hair and the bangs.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, to be honest, all those people are hot, and then I have this stupid fucking puppet.
But I think that's the cutest fucking doll ever.
Yeah, but she's a doll.
And so are you. You're just a little doll.
Yeah, bring it back. You're right. Like, she did have some nice titties.
Yeah, it's true.
The Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
You know.
It's very cute.
Yeah, she's alright.
Um,
They'll just use my body as a dummy for fucking the Bride of Chucky, the stunt
the
double.
stunt double for the doll.
Yeah.
Tiffany gets thrown up against a wall, and it's just your little body.
Yeah. That's what I have to look forward to. That's my future. That's my future.
I hope they use
Go
me
live.
as like a fucking crash test dummy or something.
Oh no, they're gonna preserve you. They're gonna preserve you and like slice you up and put you in the museum of dead bodies.
Oh, that'd be cool with me too. Then people can learn.
Yeah. They
I,
can learn from your demise.
I would be totally okay with that. Cause what?
Yeah.
I mean, just throw me in the trash. Like, what do I care?
Yeah, and if I do end up being buried, I think it'd be really cool if somebody stole me, you know?
Yeah.
That's all. I mean,
That's it.
what a great like ending to a pretty mediocre life, to be grave robbed
That
after
would be cool, though. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, it's very Frankenstein or
Yeah, exactly.
Mary Shelley.
Exactly. All right, so Jason John, he comes up a lot when you're searching for the victims of Lady Bird Lake and the surrounding or connected like bodies of water. And that's because it was after he was found that the meeting with the Austin City Council happened regarding the safety around Lady Bird Lake and pushing for that area to be surveilled more and have lighting and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go into Jason John, which I could not find a terrible lot about Jason, but he lived in New York City and Florida before he moved to Austin in 2021. So on February 5th, he went out to Rainy Street with some friends of his to celebrate his promotion that he had just gotten at work. He was seen, I'm not familiar with what bars he went to or anything, but he was seen on surveillance footage leaving and heading towards the Lady Bird Lake Trail. It was believed that he was heading home, and he was seen for like 10 minutes on surveillance footage before that was it. Like, he got to the trail and obviously there were no cameras or anything around the trail. There were several businesses that his mom, when they were searching for him, said that the cameras weren't working or the businesses just had them
Of
out,
course.
you know, of course.
Yeah.
So yet another time that there's information that could have been had the cameras been turned on, or had these businesses or even just the city street had cameras that would have provided maybe some
insight.
Information. Yeah.
Yeah.
At around 2 a.m. that morning, depending on how you see it, police responded to a phone call that a bystander had seen someone vomiting by the bank of Lady Bird Lake who fell into the water around the I-35 bridge near East Avenue. This bystander did attempt to rescue the person who fell in, and they weren't able to assist. I don't really know what happened, if the person just like went under and never came back up. But after the attempt, the bystander went to a nearby hotel where they called 911 and reported that someone had fallen into the lake.
This is interesting because when we first started getting into this, there was no mention of that.
Yeah, exactly. So this came out during whenever Jason John's autopsy was released.
Which I think is curious because we are both in that group with Jason John's mother.
Yeah.
And she never once
mentioned that. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Um,
And you would think that if, as the mother of the person deceased, that they would give her that information.
right, exactly. I don't know if I don't know if it's just that they did not make the connection at the time, because at that time, um, Jason's family had no idea that he was missing.
Right.
It was not until February 5th, like later on in the day, that they found out that Jason's dog Ruffles had been left home alone for hours, and they knew that that was not like Jason to leave Ruffles alone. That's when he was reported missing, and the efforts to locate Jason went on for 7 days. I think maybe that's when the connection, I mean, you would think, because they started searching for him around the lake based on the bystander that, like, someone
But when
fell
did they
into the
start
lake.
searching for him?
I'm assuming right away, because he was found, I think, on February 13th.
So weird though, because like if you know somebody has fallen in the lake, right, and
Mm-hmm.
then you search for him, and then he doesn't show up until February 13th.
He went missing, I guess, on February the 5th. He was
Okay.
reported missing, and then he was found on February 12th. Because it
Okay,
took
that's still 7 days.
7 days
That's still, yeah, that's still a week that like that he'd been in the water when they knew supposedly that he'd fallen
that
in.
he'd fallen in. Well, and they even did, like, a rescue boat was launched and drones were used to search the ground from overhead, and they still didn't find him until 7 days later. Like, maybe I'm just a sickie or something, but if I was, like, drunk looking to puke and I'm just outside, like, unless I'm at somebody's, like, house or something where I'm really trying to respect my surroundings, I would not be worried about. I mean, there's bushes on the other.
Yeah, right.
So why am I, like, directly aiming for the fucking water?
This was another good point. Is like I have never been able to walk. I mean, look, I barely been able to walk sober, okay? But if I've ever gotten to the point where I have to puke because I'm so drunk, like I'm not walking. Like I'm like sitting down. I'm not feeling good. Like
Yeah,
I'm
like,
like
I'm not. Yeah,
I don't want to go on a fucking nature hike. You know what I'm saying? Like I
right,
want to go home.
exactly.
So it's bizarre to me that he's feeling that sick where he has to puke and he's walking down the from the bars on Rainy Street to the lake.
Exactly.
This is when I think the drugging comes into play because if he was given GHB, let's
Hmm.
say, then he would have a slight like euphoric effect before it started to kick in where he would be, sick, sedated. I mean, to me, that would be a pretty good indication that he might have been slipped something.
Yeah. So the autopsy was released, and of course, they did not find any sort of bumps, bruises. They found nothing, like, to indicate that there was any sort of a struggle. No drugs, but there was alcohol in his system, which, again, they don't test for synthetic
GHB.
drugs
Yeah, and they don't test for GHB
unless you request. They
right.
don't test for any type of date rape drug unless you request it specifically.
Yeah.
Um,
So I mean, and what mother is going to look at their son and be like, "Can you request a date rape drug on my son?" When
yeah,
like normally you would be like, if it's a daughter, I hate to say that's so fucking sexist, but it's true. That's how our society is. You look at a man and you don't expect something like that to happen, but with a
right.
girl or a femme presenting person, you're like, you know, check them for date rape drug, and it's pretty toxic if you
Yeah.
ask me
No,
because
it really is, because, like, I had seen it was someone was talking about being drugged. I think it was in the group. And
mm-hmm.
they were like, it was a man, and he was like, "Yeah, I got drugged one time while I was out with some friends at the bar, And like I went home, I was feeling like shit. Like I remember making it home, but I don't know what happened, and I just woke up like completely naked. And he's like, I just feel lucky to have even made it to my house. And he said that anytime that he's said that to anybody, they like literally just laugh at him, and they're like, you like only girls let that happen, like that type of
Oh,
like
it's so
just
gross.
completely invalidating his experience and
Yeah.
making him feel like shit about it.
What is wrong with our society? We're like, you know, any gender
That men
gets,
who can be exposed to that type of thing are
yeah,
have to feel demasculated about it.
yeah, yeah, or anybody. It doesn't even matter the gender or their pronouns, like whatever they identify as. It's like a violation is a violation.
I agree. So, there were no drugs found in Jason John's system. He didn't have any injuries, and because he was found fully clothed and he did have his valuables on him, no foul play was suspected. So, that's pretty
Sure.
much all. Like, if you're fully clothed and they left you some of your shit, then that's what's gonna be a no foul play ruling whenever you get found.
Then that's that.
That's
So
that.
if anybody ever wants to murder me,
Just dress you back up
just dress it back
and
up.
stick $2 in your little pocketbook and
Yeah,
and you're good.
you're good to go.
Scot free. It's an
Yep.
accident.
Yep. Great. God. There's gonna be people showing up on my doorstep that I haven't heard from in 20 years. Being like, remember that one time you made fun of me in 5th grade? Well, payback's a bitch. Yep. And then they're gonna just whack me.
You have some cues that I can
As far as like his like death goes, like I just everything it's so hard for me to like just take take the police at face value. Like I don't, to me it just seems like there had to have been something more than just him being drunk and falling into a lake.
No,
You know what I
and
mean?
I agree because it is like, again, no idea what bar or bars they went to, no idea exactly like what his blood alcohol level was or anything.
Yeah.
But it is just kind of, if you're taking off from somewhere, like the point that you brought up, I think is a solid point. Like if you're taking off from somewhere, first of all, if I was so fucked up, people would have to fucking carry me. Like it would be a
Yeah.
scene. I
Yeah.
would try to hold myself together as much as possible, but most likely, I mean, people are gonna know. Like,
I
and
mean,
and I'm gonna have to be probably fucking cut off and escorted out of somewhere.
well, and we do know that Austin has an over-serving problem. Like
Yeah.
our bars overserve. And didn't we talk about um the Old Lester Pearl being like the original location being shut down because of
I had seen someone say that they were under investigation, or they had previously been under investigation for having a bartender who was drugging the
Oh,
patrons.
yes, that was right. So we do know that drugging happens. It's not unheard of that bartenders and have been drugging people, and also that they just overserve. So there is a good possibility that Jason John, I don't think his case was a case of overserving,
I
because
don't
like
think
we had
so.
said, he wouldn't have walked that far if he was that fucked up.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
so I do think he was drugged. It does leaves it up for speculation for
Yeah,
sure. Leaves it open
definitely.
for speculation. Just from what we've seen in the past. Like we know that a lot of these guys, Brian Welsian was puking. We know that uh the Patrick McNeil was observed puking outside the bar before he was found in the East River.
I mean, that's one of those things, like when you're drinking, you're essentially just poisoning yourself. So that's one of those things too that I feel like is easy to sweep under the rug of like, oh,
Oh,
if there's alcohol
absolutely.
present, then most
Absolutely.
definitely, like, that's the reason for the vomit.
Yep. Yeah, and so people just don't even question it. And the whole bystander thing is bizarre to me too, because they never once mentioned it in the group, and his mother never mentioned it either until after his autopsy report was released.
Right. And, like, as far as I know, that was cited in his autopsy as, like, part of his, like, how he died.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fishy.
Anyway, so when Jason John was found, that was the thing that prompted the discussion between friends and family of people who had disappeared, like, over the last 6 years, in a meeting with the Austin City Council. So on February 28th, the families of Jason John and Martin Gutierrez and, like, Christian Pugh's father, I know for sure, had pleaded with Austin City Council members to increase the lighting and the security around the lake. So at the end of March of 2023, the city had made some improvements, not really, which included a wooden fence that is, like,
Ooh.
not even, I mean, I haven't been over there, but it looks like it's not even like mid thigh, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's
No, it's
not,
easily
yeah,
you can
like,
get
you
over
could
it.
fucking trip over it if you don't know
Yeah.
that it's there.
Right.
Temporary lighting was installed, but only in 4 locations. And warning signs that read, quote, "Lake beyond this point, drowning risk, no swimming allowed." A portable solar camera was also put up near the Rainy Street Trailhead restroom at the
Oh,
end
really?
of May. And, of course, despite all of these changes, there was another 2 bodies that were pulled out of the lake just last month.
Yeah. Well, one out of the lake and one out of Shoal Creek.
Oh,
But
one out
still.
of the lake and one out of Shoal Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so the measures that are installed now are allegedly just the first part of, like, a multi-million-dollar infrastructure project to create more safety measures around the lake. So the second part is going to be placing a camera on the corner of Rainy and Cummings streets. A sign is supposed to be added letting visitors know when the park closes.
Oh, okay.
And I know, bless them.
That's gonna do a lot of good, I think.
And more lighting is supposed to be added with a timed dimmer that's supposed to help encourage people to use different routes that are, like, lit up. The lit up ones. And the second phase is expected to begin, like, at some point this summer, and it's supposed to take a year to complete all of this. So,
Are you kidding? That's not even, there's no construction to that. Why does it have to take a year?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you guys
up.
can't, like, hand paint a few signs that say the fucking park hours.
That is ridiculous to me.
At least, like, I don't get it.
And, like, what's that sign supposed to do? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because
Like,
you can, like, enter at so many different points.
Yeah.
If you're, like,
people are gonna read a fucking sign if they're drugged. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
well, here's a sign. I better not die over here. Because
it's just to placate the families of the people who are being found, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, there has been, like, volunteer EMS or EMT people who have like kind of like they kind of patrol the trails around Lady Bird Lake, and we had talked about it in a previous episode where they had found a guy who was like disorientated and like pretty sure he would have been another victim.
Right.
But they caught him, and that was pretty awesome. But they're volunteered. The city is not paying them. The city's not paying
them at all. And that's one thing that Christian Pugh's father had said during the meeting with the Austin City Council members is, like, my son allegedly, like, laid here for 3 days in a place that is, like, a million people, like, pass by. Like, there's a fucking road over here. Like, he was found directly beneath the bridge on a trail that hundreds of people walk by every fucking day. And he was allegedly laying there for 3 days, not seen or found because there's no cameras or anything.
I did find the guy who I was talking about last time who also survived, but it was in Wisconsin. And so I'm going to do that guy next week.
Next week. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like this guy that I'm doing this week, there wasn't a lot of information on him. He passed away in 2016, but his autopsy has still not been released. So there's no information regarding his autopsy. But his case is kind of eerie in the way that there's like, there's some things that are kind of fishy, like with the case of Jason John. Mm-hmm. It's like, that doesn't sound right. But this is the case of Zach Marr. On February 13th, 2016, 22-year-old Zachary Marr caught a train from Harvard, Massachusetts to Boston to meet with his cousins and celebrate his 22nd birthday. At around 6 p.m., his cousin Amanda Marr picked him up at the North Station, where they then headed to her apartment. At around 10 p.m., Amanda and Zach finished a drink and headed to the Bell in Hand Tavern, where they would meet up with 2 more people. Now, this is pretty interesting because where Zach was last seen alive was like a 14-minute walk to 99 Nashua Street, where William Hurley went missing.
And wasn't he found there too?
Yeah, he was found. He was found
at that exact address, right?
He wasn't found there, but he was found close in the water in the Charles River. And actually, Zach was too. At around 1:30 that morning, Zach texted Amanda to tell her he was stepping out for a smoke. Surveillance footage shows Zach standing outside the bar in 9 below weather without his jacket and only his sweatshirt.
Damn.
At 1:40 a.m. So already, if he's standing outside smoking a cigarette in 9 below, like, that automatically, to me, like, screams there's something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
By 1:41 a.m., Zach texted Amanda to tell her that they were not letting him back into the bar and that he was ready to leave. Amanda texted back, "Where are you?" to which he replied, "Out front." But by 1:50 a.m., when Amanda and the rest of the party went outside to leave, Zach was nowhere to be found.
Damn.
So within like 9 minutes, by the time she came out there, he was gone. This is where it gets really weird. The restaurant said in a statement that they provided video surveillance to the police, which shows Marr did not attempt to re-enter the Bell in Hand. Video shows other customers leaving and re-entering after 1:20 a.m., and they said that Marr would have not been denied access to the bar. So if he really tried to go back into the bar, they would have let him in.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he send a text that said they're not letting me into the bar?
Right.
That's weird.
Well, and there's no proof that that's even him. Right. Like, sending that text.
Well, there is, okay, the restaurant said another video shows Marr in front of a garage heading towards the surface artery. So there was actually, the police did release a video of surveillance. This is the only surveillance video that they released. They released a surveillance video of him standing outside the Bell in Hand when, at the same time that Amanda had gotten those texts. But you can literally only see him, right? You don't know you can't see very far to his left, and you can't see very far to his right.
Is he on his phone though?
From the picture that I saw of it, he was just standing there.
Okay.
Also, I didn't know what the surface artery is, but apparently it's a bus station.
Gotta pick a new name.
I know. I'm like, no. I'm sitting here thinking artery. God, is mine clogging right now?
Yeah, maybe work on that name.
In an interview with his cousin, she went on to say, "I was trying to stay calm." Amanda told the Globe she had hoped he'd just gone for a walk, run into a friend, or met a woman, and she'd hear from him later that day. But he didn't turn up. The Boston Globe has reported that additional surveillance video shows Marr on a walkway, then walking on train tracks before disappearing into the river underneath the Leonard P. Zachem Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about this is that there has been multiple reports that the police have evidence of him falling into the water or going into the water on his own volition. But nobody has ever seen the footage.
Really?
Which I think is bizarre because they released the footage of him standing outside the bar.
Uh-huh.
But
so why would they not release the footage of him falling in?
Well, not even just falling in, because I can understand why they wouldn't release that.
Or even just like walking around.
That's exactly, because on here it says that there was surveillance of him walking on a walkway on train tracks and then disappearing. So like they could at least show that up to the point where he disappears.
Right.
So I think that's fucking bizarre to me. That's I'm feeling like it's like doesn't exist. This new evidence would prompt an extensive underwater search of that area by both the Boston Police Department and the state police. So here's the thing, I Googled this, and I Googled, like, is it normal for the state police to like join in on a search for a missing person? And I got, the result that I got was that
no.
The police only search if they suspect there's a foul play. They're basically saying that they think something could have happened to him, but when they find his body a month later, they're saying, oh, no foul play suspected. They basically were admitting that he disappeared under, like,
mysterious circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and Christian Pugh was the same way. Like, they said that he was probably in danger. Like, he was in danger and they needed to find him right away. Right. So they're, like, admitting to it. And then when they find these guys, they're like, oh, no, nothing happened. Which I think is pretty fucking bizarre. Exactly.
Nor am I a psychic. But I do think there's something weird going on.
I do, too. Not to be Sylvia Brown, but, I mean... Something weird's going on here.
Oh, iconic bangs, iconic tan.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
It. Yeah.
Iconic nails.
Oh, those nails! If I can't have nails that I can like climb a tree with effortlessly, then I don't even want them.
Look, she was basically the cis hetero version of Divine, and I am gonna stand by that.
Oh my God. Bitch, you just made me see her in an entirely new light. I love that. Yes. Okay.
I know. Okay, we love her. We miss her. R.I.P. Members of the Boston dive team would begin searching the water near Nashua Street. Even after the authorities had already searched on the water for Zach a week prior, when dive team members were searching different areas along the Charles River. So they
searched now they're searching again?
Yeah, so they searched twice, basically. They searched all down the Charles River, and then they decided to search up towards Nashua Street after they had gotten that supposed surveillance video of him walking along the train tracks.
Gotcha.
Which, if you remember, when I did I put a picture up of William Hurley, there was, where he went missing, there was train tracks right there on that bridge.
That's right.
I think this is the same bridge.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go ahead and say so for suspense.
That makes sense. And that is suspenseful.
It is. 1 week after the multiple search and rescue attempts, and a month after Zach Marr went missing, a police marine unit went to the river behind Leverett Circle by the Museum of Science after two passerby reported seeing a body around 5:45 p.m. Massachusetts State Police would later confirm that the body was, in fact, 22-year-old Zachary Marr.
Damn.
So this is the thing, too, is that they knew that supposedly they knew that he'd fallen in of his own volition into the water, into the Charles River. But they didn't find his body for a fucking month.
And that's completely normal.
After like extensive searches from both the state police and the city police. That's bizarre to me. And also the river flows, so like why was he found
in the
so
same
close?
Spot?
Yeah, right. I mean, unless this is a case again where if the body would have like sunk down and got caught on something and then just stayed down there. I mean, that's not unheard of, but like but these guys were scuba divers.
That's suspicious.
I think so. Authorities said an autopsy will be needed to determine Marr's cause of death, but noted there was no signs of trauma. Preliminary evidence indicated his death is consistent with a fall into very cold water. Well, we all know that you can't trust that. The Suffolk County District Attorney's Office later added that he did not appear to suffer any trauma. Investigators said that there's no sign of foul play. Even though this happened in 2016, there is no way to find a confirmed autopsy report and cause of death for Zachary.
So, that's it?
That's it.
Damn.
That's it. Yeah. Yep. But you know, this is what we did again. Like, we did this again where, like, we have similar cases because Jason John, same thing. Where was he? They looked for him immediately and they could not find him for a week. For a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this same thing, like, they did multiple searches from 2 different state agencies, and they still did not find this guy for a month. Near the same area where he supposedly jumped in at. They tried to pass this off as a suicide. They said that his grandmother had died recently from breast cancer, and he was a student, and his cousin kind of insinuated that maybe he was under a lot of stress because of the class load, and then also his grandmother's death. But I mean, why would he text his cousin like, "Let's go, I'm ready to go"?
Yeah,
and then kill himself,
just disappear.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if he went off to go commit suicide, then I feel like he wouldn't have said anything to her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you never know, especially like, because when was this?
This was in 2016.
2016.
February.
Did they even have were phone locks or pins or whatever on 2016 phones?
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've never kept a pin on my phone. Have you?
You're hell yeah. I don't want people look, I got things people don't need to see about on my phone. You're damn right. Yes, I keep my shit on lockdown.
I have never kept a pin on my phone. Ever. But I'll tell you, whenever Todd and I went on our first date, my coworker was like, we need to come up with a code word because somebody that I knew went out on a date with someone, and she kept texting people all throughout the night, just to let you know I'm okay, but it turns out, and I want to say maybe for months she was texting, but no one ever saw this girl, and it turns out that she was killed that night.
What?
So my coworker was like, yeah, I want to come up with a code word that you can text me I'm here and say the code word, and then whenever you leave, tell me that you're leaving and say the code word. So that's what we did.
This is why I only date scrawny men, because scrawny men just cannot kill you. They're too weak.
What do you get them fresh out the hospital for anorexia?
for anorexia. Yeah. Lift me up in your spindly arms.
Yeah. I want to know if even if I fucking fall and crack my head open, like you can't do shit. Like you could not help me in any way possible.
That's so hot to me. I don't know why.
You can barely lift up the phone to call the fucking ambulance. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Ooh. That's my future baby daddy right there. Man, yeah, that's crazy though about your coworker's friend.
Yeah. I mean, shit like that happens. Like if you don't have a pin on your phone or whatever, and sometimes even if you do have a pin, I mean, depending on how, like, whether the person knows you or not or has access to your shit or whatever, if you have a thumbprint, I mean, all they need is just your thumb to open your phone. So
yeah, that's true. You know, I do have a pen, but it's not because of I don't want people seeing what's on my phone. I actually don't give a shit. I mean, if they want to see my titties, look, all you have to do is Google it.
All you have to do is ask, too.
Yeah. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is for $5.99 a month is join my OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. I don't have OnlyFans. No, it's because I kept butt dialing people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I would put my phone in my pocket without it like having a lock, and like I'd be calling somebody in Taiwan. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, this cannot keep happening because I got people in all different countries thinking I'm like their love of their life, obviously, because I've called them 17 times in the span of 3 minutes. So that's actually why I had to put a lock on my phone.
Interesting. I mean, I'll see, like, I don't think I've ever, well, no, I guess I've butt dialed people on accident, but, like, I take a lot of pictures on accident.
Yeah, that too. I'll take a lot of pictures. Or, like, you know what it is, though, too? It's avoidant because I don't want, sometimes, like, I'll accidentally call somebody and I'll be like, oh. Then I have to, like, talk to them.
Then you have to have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
And it's like, hey. And also, like, if I've ever hooked up with you, there's a good chance I still have your number in my phone because I just don't delete them. And so, like, I don't want to have that conversation. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, so, yeah, I got to keep that shit on lockdown. Well, anywho, enough about my personal dating life. I think that would conclude our episode 10. It's not, like, super juicy, but, like...
It's there.
You know, it's there.
You can't say it's not.
Yeah. It is now in history forever.
Yeah, that's true.
Nosey Nancies, episode 10. I guess it's time to do our missing persons.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This week's missing person is Kristen Galvin. She is a confirmed victim of sex trafficking.
Damn.
Yeah, she's been missing since January 2nd, 2020 from Spring, Texas. Her height is 5'6" and her date of birth is 4/23/2004. There's no numbers for her. I don't know what you can do if you do see her, but I think you could probably call the police department of any city that you're at, because most trafficking, I mean, they're not usually still in the state.
Right.
But her picture, there are a bunch of pictures of her. She is on our Facebook
and Instagram.
So please go check that out. And if you do like our podcast, you can actually join our Facebook group.
It's Nosey Nancies Podcast.
Yeah, and if you want to follow us on Instagram, that'd be cool.
It's Nosey Nancies.
And our TikTok
is also Nosey Nancies Podcast.
That's right.
Okay.
And we are look at you remembering things. Todd's right. You do have a good memory. You're like, who's Todd?
Oh my God, no.
Imagine.
I'll never forget him ever.
Never forget. We are still looking for listener stories, which will be, I think that episode will be in 2 weeks. So if you can email us at noseynancies@gmail.com, that's NOSEYNANCIES@gmail.com, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We would love it and appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's your next week's episode is going to be what?
Cliff Axtell, for sure.
Cliff Axtell.
Cliff
and
Axtell.
One of the guys. Yeah, Cliff Axtell. And then one of the guys from Wisconsin who survived the attack.
Yes. That's it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned next week for that.
Ciao. God, that was long.
You're going to kill me.
Oh my God, were you not recording?
I have not been recording this whole time.
Are you joking?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. I was about to shit my pants and run at you.
C'est la vie, ma